What's going on, people? Welcome to the match reaction. Disappointing evening. 1-0 defeat to Larnaca. There's a lot to talk about. Joined by Patrick here, as always. Everyone that's watching the show, even though the result wasn't great, the least you can do if you do enjoy it is drop a like, as it does help the algorithm out massively. And also subscribe if you're new to the channel. The lines will be open where you can call into the show and have your say, because I think there's a lot to talk about today. Of course, our first game at home ended in a defeat, which was disappointing. It was not a good performance, and we can talk about what went wrong today. I'm joined by Patrick. Patrick, how are you, bro?
I'm all right, man. Tough loss, man. It was a very disappointing game in all aspects. Obviously, not being a breakdown low block. The unfortunate giveaway by Convo, having 15 shots and only one on target. It was a mess. It was just a mess. So hopefully this doesn't. I mean, I can tell there's been a meltdown. I can see from the chat people are melting down, which is always makes me laugh. People melt down after a loss, but I get the frustration. But melting down after is a bit ridiculous. But is what it is.
Yeah, well, we've only got 6 games. We lost one
Right.
over, so
Important.
we haven't got that much room for error, to be fair. But where did we go wrong? Where did we go wrong? How couldn't we create chances?
I think one of the things we did wrong was trying to put, and I didn't know they were so good, trying to put crosses into centre halves who were heading away every single cross. Every ball that we put in, when Mateta was in the middle or when it was Nketiah and Mateta were just getting headed out. You would put in the group chat about putting in low crosses. We should have gone for the lower cross that guy could go. But having said that, one put a great ball in that Kamada and SA missed at the end of the game. So sometimes it's not your day. I mean, they were set up very, very well. I didn't like the fact every time the guy got hit, they were down on the ground, wasting time. That was frustrating to watch. But they deserved it because again, they had like one opportunity and they scored that one goal. But that low block thing is something we have to figure it out because we're not good at breaking down low blocks at all. We're not good at it at all.
Yeah, we have in other times, but today in particular, it wasn't good enough. Look, the biggest worry that I had going into this game, let's start with the lineup, was the midfield too. For me, I just don't, especially when it's a low block, I just don't find it as effective starting Lerma. And I messaged you about it as well. And I said, look, let's get through today's game. And hopefully, if we can get a win with Wharton and Kamada rested, that would be great. But it was a concern. It was a concern. And I don't think it was just them two. When you're looking at Sarr and Pino today, I don't think they were good enough as well. But there was just a lack of creativity. Do you think from today's game onwards, Glasner changes his approach in maybe European games? We saw it as the game went on. He went all-out attack, took off a defender, extra midfielder. Do you think today was basically like an eye-opener for us going forward? Like, look, this competition, yes, we are favourites for a reason, but we have been in that position. Top 6 teams, the traditional big 6 teams, they struggle to beat us. Why? Because of our press and our defensive abilities, and now teams are doing that against us. Do you think maybe Glasner should change his approach in these European games?
So going to the lineup, I understand what you're saying, but I don't. There's no way you could have started Wharton and Kamada today and expect them to play again on Sunday. So I understand why he played Hughes and Lerma. Yeah, maybe you could have played one of them and rested the other one. But I know what you're saying. But the problem was it wasn't just those two who aren't creative. It was more Pino and Sarr. We talk about Sarr is good against a low block, getting in behind, but he didn't today. He didn't get in behind at all. And Pino, unfortunately, just wasn't creative as we need him to be. So yeah, we can say that it was about Lerma and Hughes starting the double pivot. But to be honest, it really was more of an issue that our number 10s didn't create enough. And when that happens and your center midfielders are more guys that are gonna more recycle the ball and move it left and right as opposed to moving it forward, that's the bigger issue. So I don't know. I think that we lack experience. You just said it. We lack experience. When we play in the Premier League, we are not facing low block sides. Maybe the promoted sides might play that way occasionally, but for the most part, we're playing Liverpool and Man United and even West Ham. They're not sitting in low blocks. There's space in behind. And today there was none. And again, listen, as much as I don't want to do it. You got to give Larnaca a lot of credit because they really set out to frustrate us and they played really well defensively. They just did. The goal had nothing to do really. but the centre halves were excellent. They really were in clearing every cross we put in. We put in, I think, like about 11 or 12 crosses, and not one of them really landed. So I don't know what else to say. Yeah.
I want to actually, I want to get into the low block, but of course, as it's
Sure.
late and there's a people that's called into the show, we'll bring on the guest and we'll talk about why I think it went wrong. Let's bring on the first guest of the evening. As always, if you just join us now, hit the like button, people, if you do enjoy the stream. Bollocks, great.
Hello.
I mean, maybe you can just say your name and we can just leave it there. First official European game at Sellers Park, and it ended in a defeat. We spoke about not creating enough maybe chances. But then again, we had our chances. We didn't take some of them. Saying that, I think we only had one shot on target at the end of that game. But what went wrong?
Yeah, I mean, I went along and I met Lou in the pub, which was lovely. That was the highlight of the day, before the game, because watching the game was not a great deal of fun. For 40 quid and one shot on target against a team I've not really heard of until a few months ago. But there we go. What could be more Palace? No, I think Patrick sums it up. Like, you can look at the quite defensive midfield, which was a bit of a surprise, because Kamada being the European experience one, I thought you might give him a go. And again, you got to say to Larnaca, that was a perfect way to play against us. Ref never really had control of the game, but it's a cop-out to blame the ref. We should be able to break down Larnaca, basically. And we have really got to learn how to do it and do it quickly, because now that means that we can't rotate in maybe the fifth game that we're expecting to. We're going to have to find a better way to break these teams down. We have to put out a better team in those later games to make sure we get the automatic places we can. But there you go, you've got to hand it to Larnaca. They've beaten AZ Alkmaar and they've beaten Palace. So we might meet them in the final. Who knows?
Yeah. Do you think going from here, especially in European games, I asked this to Patrick as well, do you think Glasgow could potentially change his approach in these types of games where teams are going to be sitting very deep? But the only team I can see in the league phase that might be attacking us would be Strasbourg. Apart from Strasbourg, I don't see any other team really coming in.
It's a good question. Difficult to say, like, because until I don't know what minute was it they scored in. It felt like about the 60th minute. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, around that time, 58, 60.
And didn't really seem to be much of a threat from either team, really. So you would have thought. I mean, it could have gone a bit earlier with making the changes. Did we really need to free the back the whole time they had basically nobody up top? I don't really know. But I don't know. He must have found a way to do it at Frankfurt. Granted, in a conference, maybe Frankfurt were the underestimated team, like Larnaca were today. But he must find a way to break down the teams. I don't know what it is. And like, Pino disappointed, Side disappointed, the whole midfield did. Should he have made changes earlier? Should he have made it go two at the back? And it's a bit of a shame for Canvo too, because hopefully that won't, damage him too much mentally. But it's a stinking mistake to make.
Yeah, it was. He didn't have the greatest of games, but I don't know who really did. To be fair, I don't know who really had a good game. Hughes was all right. Apart from that, we were quiet. For me, I think the main issue was that with the overloads that we managed to do, with Munoz having a free running or Mitchell having free running behind, we couldn't do that today because they basically played a back five. So there was always a man on Munoz, whereas before Saul would be occupying the fullback or the wing. Well, it's normally fullback rather than wing back. He'll be occupying the fullback where then there's space for Munoz to run into. So that's what I'm really looking at, saying, all right, we saw against Fredrikstad, we struggled. I think they're today, Larnaca 5 at the back. So I do think our approach in these European games needs to change because we don't. Our strength of what we do in the Premier League, we can't really replicate that against these opposition, even though they're weak opposition on paper. So that's where I believe we went wrong, and that's why we couldn't create that many chances. Saying that, we weren't clinical once again in front of goal when we did have the odd chance or two.
That is true. And what can you really do about that, though? Like, I mean, Uche's not an out-and-out striker or a poach or whatever else. And Mateta is like whole debate in there. He's getting all the XG, he's getting the right places, but another costly miss. You can understand him trying to compensate by kicking it into the ground, and it didn't quite work out. Maybe if he's slightly more confident, I don't know, he started footing or whatever else. But it's all academic because we weren't creating enough generally, really. It was annoying actually that their left back was wearing number 93, and more annoying that he was actually quite good because 93 is not a football number, but it's something they're going to have to work on big time, and it's something we have to face the whole tournament, like say, apart from probably Strasbourg. We have to get used to finding a way to break that down. I don't know what the secret is, what the answer is. Would it be different if we had Eza? I don't know. Would it be what we need in these sort of games? I don't want to admit it, but quite probably. We ain't got him, so that's how it is.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see him on Sunday, so we'll see how that goes. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. They got so much depth on the bench. We didn't. The one thing today was it wasn't particularly physical. We didn't knacker ourselves. It was a slow tempo game. Ref broke up quite a lot. We didn't really get going, so we shouldn't be too tired from it. I suppose we see Richards come back in, and I guess in Wharton and Kamara start. But yeah, let's hope Nketiah gets a winner against them. It's going to be a tough game. But strange things have happened. Who knows? It would nothing be more Palace than losing to Larnaca and then beating Arsenal at their place.
Yeah. But look, get home safe. Hopefully we'll catch up with you on Sunday and on a bit more of a positive performance.
Fingers crossed. All right, cheers. Out of Palace.
All right.
Yeah, we got Eze on Sunday. We got Eze, Patrick. We'll talk about that later on. I mean, we're going to talk about it tomorrow.
We have to talk about it today. Talk about tomorrow.
We'll talk about tomorrow. Exactly. Let's sleep on it today and talk about tomorrow. Let's bring on Animal. 1-0 defeat. First home game at Selhurst Park in European competitions, and yeah, it went not according to plan. Let's just say that.
It got to about 75 minutes, and I looked at my girlfriend. I said, "We're not winning this game. We're going to lose this game." We could have been there for another hour and not scored a thing. Look, people have been saying, "Oh, I think Larnaca looked decent and everything," and I thought they defended well for sure, but they were putting the ball out in their own half. They crossed it to Mateta in their own area, like at one point. They were trying to do our job for us, and we still couldn't score. The reason why I just want to say quickly, Patrick, the reason why I give Lerma a bit of a hard time is because it's not because, like I don't think he's the best passer at all. And when we need to pass fast, it's not what we need. But it's also about the passes that don't get created when he's on the pitch. Like I would have started Wharton in the midfield with Hughes, and I would have had Lerma in the defense, right? And for me, it's about when we're up against those low blocks, right? We've got Mark pushing up the pitch. We had Canvo taking a shot on goal, by the way, in the first half, a very tasty shot on goal. So when we've got our defenders playing so high, and we've got our 10s getting congested in the final third of the pitch, what is it exactly that Lerma's there to do? Do you know what I mean? It's a very strange person to play when we're up against a low block. That's the reason that I round on Lerma a little bit, but it wasn't going our way at all. And I'm frustrated. I'm angry. And we've got to figure it out. Like you said, we have to work out, how to unlock these low blocks. But for me, it doesn't happen with Lerma in midfield.
Yeah, it doesn't for me as well. I said it to Patrick before the game started. It was a gamble. I think it was a gamble. And I said the ideal scenario would be Hughes or Lerma somehow have a good enough game and we win 1-0 or whatever, and then they play 90 and Walter Kamada's rested. But this was my biggest fear, because for me, Lerma is very limited on the ball. Off the ball, he's great. He's physical, even in the air, with set pieces, everything in that regards, he's great. But in today's game, I was just hoping that Larnaca came out and didn't have five at the back. Maybe had four at the back and just attacked, so we can have a bit more use of Lerma. But when you're 1-0 down and they're already sitting back as it is, there's no use for me. There's no use.
Yeah.
But Lerma wasn't the only player that wasn't good enough today. But Lerma was the one that really stood out to me before the game even started, to be fair.
I thought Hughesy was decent, to be quite honest with you. I thought Hughes had another good game. What I saw was when Wharton came on, was us putting these lovely little tasty diagonal balls into the area, and we needed to get something on it. But imagine if we had that the whole game rather than just the last 20 minutes. That's why it's frustrating for me, I think, today. That's why I'm a little bit more angry than usual.
Yeah, what about the 10s? I thought the 10s weren't great, Pino and Sa. For me, these types of games, Sa, like, he hasn't been bad against all low blocks, but ideally against low blocks, that's not where you get the best out of Sa, because Sa, he gets on the ball, gets in behind with his pace. That's his strengths. And when there's no space for him to run into, it's not, that's not his game. So there was that question mark there. But Pino, he could have done a bit better. I just thought the 10s weren't really involved either.
Yeah, the today's game isn't the game to be sort of ripping it into Pino, because the 10s, when we're up against a low block, that we've seen this play out before. Ezza's been victim to this sort of performance before. Sa, more often than Ezza, actually. Sometimes Ezza's the key to unlocking, sometimes he wasn't, and we got a result that we didn't like. But yeah, today's not the day to be sort of ripping it into Pino really hard. He made an effort, but it's the lack of taking the chances. And for me, I would have rested JP as well. Not because I thought his chances not getting put away is pissing me off. It's more to do with trying to preserve his energy, because he's playing 90 minutes out here every game, and we've got Arsenal again on Sunday. Is it Sunday that we're playing? It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be Saturday.
Yeah, Sunday, yeah.
So we've got Arsenal to think about then, and I would rather have a fit and firing JP ready for that game, and having Ketia being the man that gets into the, because I think we're encouraged to play a little bit differently when Nketiah comes on, and maybe that could have been the answer today, rather than sometimes knocking the ball forward to Mateta, having him hold up the play. Like, it takes a lot out of the big man, and he's doing it every single game. So yeah, I think these chances missed and Mateta's fitness levels, I think, might be within the same sort of barrel of problems that we've got.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Patrick?
I don't think you're wrong. My only issue is, like I said, at some point you have to rest Wharton and Kamada. You have to. So if you don't do it today, you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it against Arsenal. Then you'll probably do it against Liverpool next week. So you're basically sacrificing the Liverpool game.
Yeah.
I think the manager definitely thought that today, with Pino and Sa and Mateta starting, the usual front three, we'd have enough. You're absolutely right about the way Lerma plays. But I looked at the stats. He had 4 passes into the final third, whereas Warren had 5 in the time that he was on, and Hughes had like 7. But the thing is, he only misplaced 1 pass the entire game. But his passes are going to be lateral and backwards. We get that.
Yeah. That's the problem. Yeah,
right.
That's
so that's fine. But then that's why Pino and Sa have to be better, and they weren't today. Pino and Sa have to be more creative. Someone mentioned in the chat that when Sa gets the ball, he really turns and runs at the defender. He likes the ball in behind the defender. They can run in behind the net and cross, played off the Munoz, whatever. So that's the thing. We have to get Pino into the game more. But again, like you mentioned before, we had chances. Listen, JP missed a chance. Mateta missed a chance. There was a great ball that Wharton put in that both Essay and Kamada missed late in the game. We had chances. But sometimes it's just not your day. Sometimes, and you're right. Like Adam, I'm the same with you. At 60 minutes, I'm saying we're not winning this game. I can just tell we weren't winning this game. You get a feeling in the game that when they score a goal like that, we're not going to score. We might get a draw, or we're not going to win the game. That's how I felt today. So I can't. I want to get upset, but I can't, because sometimes that's how football is. So
you went all out attack towards the end of the game,
and we did. Went 4-4-2. Went all out attack. I mean,
I don't think he's gonna go as attacking as that in the next game against Alkmaar, but I do think our approach is going to be different. I would be surprised if he does the same.
By the way,
I know this is the dilemma, right? We've got 3 games coming up. Well, more than 3 games, but the next 3 games I'm looking at, because we got 3 games in 6 days or something. Right. We got Liverpool. You got Arsenal, then you got Larnaca. I think he had to take a gamble in one of those games about the midfield, because I don't think Wharton and Kamada can play all 3 of those games 90 minutes. And I think he just looked on paper and he said, look, I think there's a bigger chance of us beating Larnaca with Lerma and Hughes there than there is to beat Liverpool with Lerma and Hughes in that midfield. So we'll see what happens in those games. But yeah, it was a gamble. It didn't work. But what happens from here going forward? Because we're going to be in similar situations. Is he just going to have to hope that Walton or maybe I think Hughes is good enough to start there. Is he gonna hope maybe Kamada plays one game and Walton plays another game? I don't know how he's gonna do it, but yeah.
Well, look, my thinking for today was that because Adam Wharton wasn't part of international break, he had essentially 2 weeks off, right? Whereas Kamada played both of his international games. So I was thinking Adam can play 60 minutes and have that preset substitution happen on 60 minutes. If we're winning the game, fantastic. Then like Lerma can come on, or whoever needs to come on can come on, and Wharton can get his break, and then Kamada can do the opposite, right? And then we've got them both sort of fresh for Sunday. But look, it's spilt milk at this point, isn't it? And we've just got to move on and roll with it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Look, it is what it is. We'll see on Sunday. It wouldn't surprise me if Palace somehow turn up on Sunday.
You won't see me on Sunday, unfortunately. I've got a birthday, so I'm going to watch the game, and I'm going to turn up late to the birthday, but I won't be on stream. So
all right then. We'll see you. You're running away already. Excuses. You want to see the team, you're running away already.
You won't see me for a month.
Yeah, you won't see me again. But look, Jake Society, enjoy the birthday.
Enjoy.
And we'll catch up with you whenever you're free. Always a pleasure.
Cheers, guys.
All right,
all the best, Jeff.
Thanks for checking in. Up to Palace. I hope we got it in that time.
Exactly, you did. But if you do want to call into the show, you can do so by clicking on the link in the comment section down below. Let's bring on the next guest of the evening. But before we do, we're on 72 likes. Let's see if we can hit 100. I know it's a bit of a depressing evening because we all expected a win, but here we are discussing. This is like therapy. It is like therapy at times. Talking about Palace after defeats. Let's bring on Jake. Jake.
What's going on, guys? You all right?
Yeah. I mean, we've had better days, let's say that.
Yeah.
1-0 against Larnaca. For you, what went wrong?
I mean, I suppose I'll pose the question, what's going on in the final third?
In terms of finishing or creating chances?
I think both, really. I mean, like, how many it's come to the point where, like, I saw a lot in this game where we're just constantly putting that same ball into the box, and like, yes, obviously we've had previous success before, but like at the same time, it's just not working. And I think we need to now get to that drawing board and go, right, what else could we do in that moment? But I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think today Larnaca's back five calls as a problem in terms of what we do best in terms of creating chances. Is that we have the wide players such as Mitchell or Munoz who typically they end up being free because Sarr would occupy one of the the fullbacks. But today, because they had a back five, they were literally going man to man at times, and there was always a play on Munoz, and there was always a play on Mitchell, so we couldn't do the overlaps. And the next question is now, if you can't do your usual overlaps and put balls into the box as effectively as we have done to create chances, what's the alternative? And we just couldn't figure out the alternative. And I think that was the main for me today.
I've heard you guys talk about it before as well, like in like with Sarr, like there was, I know there was one big one tonight, but I feel like he goes down too easily. I feel like he can do more when he gets these chances, but like I see him try and like go for that foul or penalty, whatever it is, a bit more than I would like to. I think again he's probably one of, if not my favorite Palace players at the moment, and he's doing well. Like again, he's up there in terms of the goals for us. Like again, obviously, if Mateta getting a good hat trick last game, like obviously put more goals on the sheet, but at the same time, Sarr is putting his work in. But again, I don't know. Like, what do you guys think on that? Do you think that's a bit too harsh on him, or what?
Well, I was with Lou today, and he said the same thing. He was like, "Why is he going down easily?" I don't know if you would admit afterwards, but yeah, he did say that next to me, so he definitely thought the same. But for me, rather than him going down, I think the most annoying thing about today was that there just wasn't space for Sarr to do what he does best, which is like running behind. And that's where the question mark really raises for me personally with Sarr in terms of what you do with him against low block sides, because he is not on paper. For example, Pino he didn't have a great game either, in my opinion, but he's meant to get on the ball. He's find a part of but Sarr, his main strengths is that his pace, how strong he is, how he can run in behind, and if he can't do that, so yeah. Look, I do think we do need to make slight adjustments in games coming up in the Conference League. but I don't know if he will. I'm pretty sure he should, but
It's
only
difficult. It is obviously that question with squad depth, I guess. Like it's again, especially when you're coming up squads like Arsenal next week. Like again, probably one of the best in the league in terms of squad depth at the moment. Like, but yeah, mate. I mean, I'm confident in us. Like I know what we can pull out the bag. I mean, we've shown it with 2 trophies, obviously. But like, and I'm obviously probably one of the best managers of, probably if not, yeah, one of the best managers we could have seen at Palace at the moment. So like, I'm very, very confident in it. But again, it's just difficult not to feel upset when you have nights like these, and it's just, but yeah, I don't know. I think just again, carry on up the Palace, all that.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree. It's not the end of the world. We've still got 4 more games to play. We're not in a bad position. Of course, the defeat today was disappointing, and people can be angry, frustrated. Some people are calm about it. Depends on how you view it. But I think the biggest thing about this defeat is that normally we learn a lot from defeats. That's the vibe that I get from Glasner. And I think today I'm expecting a reaction, not against Arsenal. Well, against Arsenal, I do, but more about how we approach European games. I'm really looking forward to
100%.
seeing what we do against Alkmaar now, because Fredrikstad, it was a similar issue. We managed to get through that, just basically, we didn't do greatly against Fredrikstad, similar to how Larnaca approached the game. So, 2 games now. I think Fredrikstad, as we got by, we kind of left it aside. We're like, all right, cool, we can, still create the odd chance and win the game 1-0. But today is like an eye opener. What do we do from here onwards? So I'm actually really looking forward to that going forward. But Arsenal on Sunday, different test. Of course, they are one of the best defensive sides in the whole of Europe. What are you expecting for that?
I think it's obviously going to be a tough game. It's going to be one of them ones that really, really tests us. Again, I'd be very, very happy with a draw. But again, they've got a lot of promise going into that game. But again, I think we have got the ability to do it again. Like when we have our full squad there, when we've got our Kamadas in play, when we've got our Whartons, again, Mateta. When he's on form, he can. I mean, we saw what we did against Arsenal last game. It was that 2-2 draw. He scored the absolute worldie. Obviously, Fred did have a bit of a stinker being off his line. But yeah, no, I'm confident going into it. I'm looking forward to it, and really, really, really hope that we get something good.
Yeah, hopefully. Look, Jake, pleasure talking to you. Hopefully, we'll catch up with you again,
guys. Yeah,
take care.
Guys. Bye.
D, I have Glasner's comments. You want to hear them?
Yeah, I've really been waiting for them. Yeah,
actually, no, I'll pop them up on the screen. It'll be easier. I can read it, but right there.
Yeah, because I was actually very curious to see what he said about the game.
So he said, the easy answer is that we didn't score the chances we had. We had one mistake and they punished us. I think that's a summary. We were against a very deep block, and it's not easy to create 10 clear-cut chances. But at the end, we had 13 or 14 finishes inside the box. We're not clinical enough to take the lead or score enough goals. They had in total, I think, 4 shots. We made 1 mistake. So congratulations to Larnaca. They were very efficient. For us, there's a little bit of deja vu. We have had games where we create many chances but don't score enough, and then we get punished. This is what we have to learn and what we have to improve.
Before we actually go into the comments, just sorry, I missed this from Michael. Thank you for the super chat. He's saying we created enough to win, low block or not. Finishing was dreadful. That's not Glasner or low block. Literally what Glasner said.
Exactly.
We timed it perfectly. I really appreciate your super chat as always. Do you agree with Michael and Glasner there? I mean, we did have chances. Look, finishing wasn't great, but I don't think I don't know. I just expected us to be a bit more better in terms of creating chances. Like, it's a weird game. We don't have one shot on target.
I'd be more frustrated if we didn't create chances. I'm more frustrated we didn't work the keeper enough.
We only had one shot on target, and we only had 2 big chances.
Right. But we had. I mean, it was a shot that Mateta had a block by one of our players. Obviously, the one he knocked over that he bounced, he hit the crossbar. The one that Eddie had. Obviously, like I said, the great ball by Wharton that both SA and Kamada missed. There was a header. Lacroix missed a header from 6 yards. I mean, we had chances. The problem was, again, we didn't work the goalkeeper. One thing he made, I'd have felt better. I remember Roofs against Sunderland had like 5-6 great saves. The guy didn't make one big save. You know what I mean? So And again, that's what football's so funny, man. You can have all these chances and not score, and you can get upset. And people in the chat, whatever, want to get upset. I get it, but we had chances. Glasgow's right. We just didn't put the chances away, and it's really, I mean, a 0-0 would probably have been a fair result because Carbo made one mistake. Kid played, I thought he played well. He made a couple times trying to make a pass, but that's a terrible error to make. But to get punished like that that's harsh. That was really harsh on that kid to get that mistake.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So,
it was, but he'll learn from it. He'll learn from
oh,
it.
hopefully, yeah. So
It was just unfortunate. He didn't have the greatest of games. Even apart from that, I mean, I don't know. I don't think he was having a great game till that point, anyways.
I thought he was okay though. It's not like they caused us any problems though. You know what I mean? So
yeah, he was okay. But look, we joke about it in our chat. But to finish today, Mateta and even Eddie, he had that one chance. What's your thoughts on it? I mean, the one in the first half was the big one. The big one. I don't know what he's doing. I'll be honest. I don't know what he's doing. Kicking the. He just hit on target. He just hit the floor.
I'm gonna be honest. I think both of them are equally as poor. I think the one that he missed is really bad. I don't think Eddie's fluff at the back post was equally bad. He miskicked the entire ball. Either one of them we had to score on. I mean, I'm not going to defend either one. You know, so I think both of them are equally bad. Again, I think the miss by Aqua was really, really bad. The header he had, you can't miss a header from 6 yards when he's that good of a header of a ball. So, I mean, but hey, Michael says here, we fluffed the line in front of goal. That's what it comes down to. We fluffed our lines. We had chances, but every time we had a good shot opportunity, we just fluffed our lines. So I don't even know if it's any deeper than that. And sometimes you have chances like that. You have chances and you just don't score. I don't even know what else to add. It was just a kind of match where, I mean, Mikey put in our group chat. We could have played for another 5 hours. We weren't going to score goals today. One of those days we weren't going to score. You know, we weren't.
So based on what Glass is saying and what we're talking about right now, do you think he changes the approach going into the next game? Because by what he's saying,
next game, you mean Alkmaar or you mean Arsenal?
No. I'm talking about Larnaca Conference League. The Premier League games.
Okay.
No team is going to be like Larnaca in the Premier League. So that's. But I'm talking about in the Conference League. Based on what he's saying today, he seems like he's got kind of a different perspective. He still feels like we created enough chances.
I think you won't see Lerma Hughes again in the Conference League unless we win the next 3 games and we have the last game where we're on whatever 12 points. I think against Alkmaar, Strasbourg, Cups. Is the last game Cups or the last game? Sure, but I always forget which one the last game is again.
Last game in terms Cups, yeah.
You think right? So I don't think you're going to see those two play. I think there may be a time when you'll see Eddie start over Mateta up front from the off lane start up front, but again, the approach. He said we had 13 or 14 opportunities to score and we didn't. So is that going to happen again against Alkmaar? It could, but it's not likely.
14. It doesn't feel like it.
Well, again, we had 15 shots. The only one on target.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like when he puts it like that, I love Glass to bits. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But did we really have like 13, 14 chances like that?
We had a lot. We had a lot. I mean, as far as big chances, no, we only had 2. And I'm assuming the 2 are JP's and either Lacroix's or Eddie's, or maybe the SA/Kamada. I don't know what they consider the big chance, but in the game, Larnaca didn't have any big chances. But again, we had 15 shots, 1 on target. So I think he probably means 15 shots, not 15 chances or 13, 14 chances.
Okay,
but,
yeah. And some of them shots, of course, was from outside the box, but not all of them.
Well, was I know Lama had a wild shot, and then Convo shot was actually a very good shot. That shot was missed by like a yard or 2, so it wasn't like a wild shot. It was actually a good shot. So
how do you sort this out in terms of being clinical then in front of goal? What do you do?
I don't know if you can do anything. I mean, if you look at the I'm not sure you watch the videos they put out, the pre-videos, all the videos are finishing. They show the finishing drills all the time. We practice it all the time. Again, sometimes you just listen. We scored 3 goals on Saturday. We probably should have scored 6, but scoring goals hasn't been a minute. That's the first time we've been. There's been a clean sheet since Sunderland game. We score goals, just that we don't always. We've had chances. I don't know what you can do. Just hope that at some point it clicks. So I don't know what else you can really do. If you think that the option is to start Mateta over Ketia, then we can try that and see how that works out. But I don't think there's a quick fix. I think it's just a matter of at some point it clicks. So we are creating chances. we're not taking them, and we have like I think the guy said during the stream, not the stream. I was watching the game. We have like a 17 xG, which are the highest in the league, and we haven't scored 70 goals this season. So, I think we have how many goals we got so far? We've got 12 goals. Our xG is probably underperformed by 5 goals. So, I think we just keep doing what we're doing and hope that eventually that we score. And I'm with Sean here. Eventually, we gotta start going back to this too.
I was gonna literally bring that up because when's the last time I was thinking about it? When's the last time we've actually had a clean sheet? And we started the season very good defensively, very good.
Yeah, the last one I think is gonna be with Sunderland. No, Kiev away was the last one.
Kiev away. So yeah,
and then Sunderland at home was the last one.
Everton. This is the Everton game. Yeah, we haven't had a clean sheet.
But the thing is, on all those games, you can point to a singular silly mistake. I mean, let's start with let's go back to say Liverpool, the Richards header. Everton, obviously, the kickoff of Munoz off of what's his name? Jack. What's his name again? The guy, Man City player, plays for Everton. Grealish, right? Did that. Obviously, Bournemouth. Gahey misplayed a kick.
Bournemouth. There was a lots of individual
errors, and then today, Karma gives the ball to the player dribbles, passes, and they score. So every single time there's been a mistake. Now, obviously, you think about goals. A lot of goals are scored from mistakes. That's pretty obvious, but they're not always. But ours have been some glaring, like you can point to a player who made a mistake. But it happens in football. You can't play 90 minutes of perfect football, so it happens. But we have to go back to getting clean sheets. That's a basic. Palace are a clean sheet, good defensive team, and we go from there. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Well, I know it's only 2 games, but where are we in the Conference League table?
Well, someone said it right there. I think we're right there. I think we're 16th. I'm pretty sure. I'll double check it now.
We are. So we are in the playoffs phase.
We are.
Towards the top. I can't even see
the top 24. So it's the top 8 get the bye, and then from 9 to 24 go into the playoffs. So
round of 16, get the top 8.
And we're 1 point off of 8. We're 1 point from 8th. It's not a disaster. But what happens is winning the Kiev game was a big, but now losing this game kind of balances it out because I would have expected us to maybe get a point at Kiev based on before we played them. But we have to now beat Alkmaar for sure. And honestly, Strasbourg now becomes a point at the very least. We can't lose that game. But we'll beat Cups, we'll beat Shelbourne. So, that'll be 6
points. Are you confident?
Yeah, cool. Come on, bro. Come on. Let's not do this.
Because a lot of people said that we'll beat Larnaca.
I know. This is the first Cypriot team to ever beat an English club. We should have won. I'm not saying we should do it, but we can do that again and again. If we do it again, then we're done.
Is that the case here?
We do it again, we're done. So, but looking at the teams we're gonna play, is it playing Shelbourne or Shelbourne? I forget. Shelbourne, right? Shelbourne has 1 point. Cups has 2 points. Alkmaar has 1 today, so they have 3 points. And Strasbourg has 4 points. They have a win and a draw. So. It's not like we got to play. Fiorentina's got 6. Larnaca now has 6. Some team I can't pronounce has 6 points. Who are this team? Some team from Slovenia. Is it Kelja? I guess that's how you say it. There. And then the Thorn, Switzerland has 6. Samson Sport, them obviously. They have 6, and Mainz have 6. But so, bro, the top 8 still there to be had. Listen, we finished first to 8th. It's the same thing. You get a bye.
Yeah, exactly. We need to get the top 8.
That's what we're gonna do. So right now, that's the focus. So yeah.
Yeah, even if we don't get in the top 8, which would be very disappointing, I'll be honest, by our standards. I mean, sure.
Yeah, If we lose show on the cup, bro, it's shut the whole thing down. I agree. I mean, what are we talking about? Seriously.
I was saying to Lou during the game, I don't know if you agree with me, but I think the Europa League actually suits us much better than the Conference League because let's say we face Porto today instead of Larnaca. Porto ain't going to be doing that. Then they're not going to have to just sit back, defensively, no attacking. So I think the type of opposition, it's more difficult in the Europa League, but the type of football that we'll face actually helps us a bit better.
So the football, I agree, but the lack of squad depth, we get destroyed, bro. Playing in the Premier League and the League Cup and the FA Cup at some point, we don't have the depth to play in the Europa League. We just don't. I mean, I know what you're saying. The style of play.
Is it not the same thing though? Like today.
Today to me is a one-off. I'm sorry. Sometimes in football, it's a one-off. It's like losing to Grimsby in the League Cup, Man United. It just happens sometimes. I'm not gonna say I don't. We play Larnaca 3 times I bet they couldn't score a goal off us. We gave them the ball for the goal. We're gonna do that again the next time we play them again. Listen, maybe I'm wrong, but to me it's a one-off. Now, I'll be at the Alkmaar game. We lose to Alkmaar, and then we are in big trouble. So, but Alkmaar's a better team than they are. So we'll see.
Yeah, hopefully Alkmaar.
But maybe this is true. Maybe this suits us better. Maybe maybe wait here. Maybe that suits us better too.
Hey, that'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. We don't really.
I think Evans got it.
When we face top teams, I mean, that's not really an area we struggle in because we turn into Larnaca, but of course more effectively on the counter. And it is annoying to face against, like when you're very good defensively, because like, what the hell? What do we do?
Bro, think about it.
You put on everyone on the pitch, all of the. You had Esse, you had Uche,
right?
You ended with Wharton, Esse, Uche, Kamada, Nketiah, Mateta, Sarr. Everyone was on the pitch. It's like, what on earth do you do?
Right.
And that's why it is frustrating.
To be fair, in the last 2 years on the glass now, right? We played. Who did we play in the FA Cup last year? We played Millwall, beat them, low block. We beat who beat in the early rounds of FA Cup again? I can't remember the names.
It was Mill. No, not FA. Oh, FA Cup.
Early round.
But even in the League Cup against Millwall.
Doncaster and Stockport. Now they were low block team. Obviously, Stockport was more as the one bit of match. My point is, we haven't lost to a low block type team until today. So it's not like
it's not even the low block that's the problem. I think low block. Low block definitely plays a part, but I think the bigger issue is the formation that we face. I think the back five is a bigger problem than a low block because teams can sit down, teams can sit deep, but if we can still do what we do best, which is like occupy the number 10s with the fullbacks and then have the wing backs have that space in behind where they can get in behind, we can still create chances against low blocks, and I think that's why we've created a lot of chances this season because that's worked effectively. I think it's more the combination of low block plus the back five because we can't do what we do best. Munoz and Mitchell, they can't be as effective today when someone tracking them all the way. So I think it's more about the opposition's back five because they were the same, right? Fredrikstad had back five as well.
They did. They definitely had a back
it's
five.
the back five that's more of an issue.
Oh, them too, yeah. I mean,
we lack attacking out wide. So, I mean, when there's a solution, and how many teams in the Premier League play a back five? We don't face it.
Nah.
Exactly.
No, I mean, not true back. No, it's not a Premier League.
No, not like true. They might play back three, but even then, who really plays back three?
Wing back is not a back five unless you back five out of possession.
Back five. We don't do this.
This team played a back five in and out of possession. They didn't care exactly.
That's what Fredericks had done as well, and that's the issue. I think. Yeah, like we can talk about low block and of course trying to break down teams, but I really do think it's more about the five in defense and how we attack teams. And that's the alternative that we need to find. But I mean, if there's someone, it'll be Glasner. It still feels a bit mad the fact that we lost today, man.
Yeah,
it feels a bit surreal. Like we lost against Larnaca. I mean, I don't think many people we weren't expecting it with our predictions. No one got a point. But yeah, it should be interesting now going forward. And looking ahead quickly, I know we're going to talk about tomorrow. Arsenal, different type of opposition, but one of the best teams in Europe defensively.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I expect us to bounce back, whether that's a draw or a win. I just think that, let's get back to basics, man. Let's try and keep a clean sheet. I know they're very good going forward, but that's the basics. If it's a 0-0, I would take that. But listen, it's different opposition, different. Everything's different, different. It's the away game, best team in the league, one of the best team in Europe. We usually play them pretty well. No JC's to score 3-4 goals against us, thank God. So
I'm just worried about the set pieces, but of course this is a competition for tomorrow.
Yeah, listen, that is an issue. At least today wasn't a set piece goal. I mean, not like a goal against Bournemouth on Saturday, so it wasn't a set piece goal. But no, they're gonna be a problem. Listen, it's Arsenal. You know how I feel about Arsenal. So just try and get out of there with a point. That's what give me a point and I'll be happy.
Yeah, let's see what happens. But look, people, we're gonna wrap up now. If you have enjoyed this, please hit the like button, subscribe. Tomorrow, I think we'll be back with the player ratings.
Oh
Show
yeah.
you the
Oh
socials
Lord.
and
Yeah.
it has to go on. Come on, we can't stop.
No,
I mean,
we'll do it. We'll do it.
yeah,
You and I will do it.
there's a lot that I'm looking forward to hearing both you and Lou talk about in terms of individual performances. Because I mean, today's game, trust me, there's a lot to talk about. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. And then on Saturday, we'll most likely release. Well, we will be releasing a match preview. So busy few days. Sunday reaction, and then we go again because we got Wednesday game. So there'll be another preview reaction. So yeah, it'll be a busy day. But let's see. Exactly, good week for D in the prediction league. I mean, not really. No one really picked up points. So
Chris, everyone predicted a win, so it's a bad day across the board. Everybody got exactly 0 points. So yeah.
Even though, I don't know. Maybe the tables order needs to change because I don't know why I am that low down in the table when everyone else got the same. Yeah, well, everyone else got the same amount of points as me, but somehow I'm low down. But anyways, we'll see. We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Politics.
Yeah. Anyways, take care, people, and until next time, up the palace.